There was a debate meant to happen yesterday at the Oxford Union between a Pakistani and Indian delegation on the topic that this House believes that India's policy towards Pakistan is a populist strategy sold as security policy. But at the very last minute, the Indian delegation backed out. And we have the president of the Oxford Union, Musa Haraj, with us to tell us exactly what happened. So, Musa, would you tell us, did you hear back from the Indian delegation at all as to why they withdrew?
Thank you so much for inviting me to your show, Aisha. It's a pleasure to be here. I have no idea why the Indian delegation dropped out. We organized this debate in June. That's when we planned for the topic. That's when we planned for the debate. And in July, August, we confirmed the speakers and everything was ready to go. Look, some dropouts are normal to happen, but this was surprising to me given the scale of the debate and given how sensationalized it was, how much interest was there behind the debate. My gut sense behind why the Indian delegation dropped out is that it is very easy for them to be in India and go on Indian TV shows where the anchors are very friendly towards Mr. Modi and his regime and answer softball questions about India's policy towards Pakistan and about India's foreign policy. But that's one thing to do that, and it's one thing to come to the Oxford Union, which is the last bastion of free speech, where every sentence you say, every narrative you say, will be held to account and will be exposed. So my understanding is that after what India did in May, those surgical strikes in Pakistan, where innocent civilian lives were lost, is an indefensible position. And then to suspend the Indus Waters Treaty, which has survived about 3 wars. It's putting water on the war field, which is nothing short of an act of hydroterrorism. I think some of these positions were so indefensible for them that perhaps they had second thoughts about coming to the Oxford Union and representing those views. And despite them pulling out, as president, it was up to me, as the organizer of the debate, as the organizer of the term, it was up to me to decide what to do. And when they pulled out, I decided that I would still continue on with the debate and would still hold the debate. So instead of the Indian delegation, we had student speakers in the debate. And I was the lead speaker from Side Pakistan. I was the head of the Pakistani team and opened the case for the Pakistan side. And we won by 2/3.
I'm sure you had planned this debate in advance. So did they know about this topic before? And how long ago had you informed them? And is it usual, or is it normal for somebody to cancel on a debate and a day before it's meant to happen?
Look, the debate was planned. It was organized by me in June. And that's when, end of June roughly, is when we sent out the invitation. So they had plenty of notice. And they knew a long time ago about the debate. So, and sometimes, people do drop out. Life happens, there's emergencies happen, there's issues. People do drop out. But I was surprised and I was shocked at the Indian delegation not coming at this point because of how important this debate is. It is when you hold a debate at the Oxford Union, that sets the discourse for around the world. When you say something at the Oxford Union, that reverberates around the world. And I thought especially a debate like this would be whatever you say in the chamber will echo around the world. So it was very important for them to come, and I am disappointed that the Indian delegation did not come. And I can only hope that in the future you have engagement, because engagement is very important. It is crucial. And I said this in my speech as well. The biggest victims of Modi's fascist policies is not the people of Pakistan. It's the people of India themselves. So it's important for us to have these debates so they can also see the damage that their government is causing. The 2/3 mandate is a repudiation of the fascist and the anti-Muslim policies the Modi government has engaged in. And 1 or 2 points I made in my opening speech, in my case for Team Pakistan, in my case for the proposition, which I think particularly struck a chord with the audience, and particularly the Indians as well, because there were a lot of Indians as well who voted for Side Pakistan, who voted not for Side Pakistan, but who voted in favor of the motion, who voted that they believe that India's response is a populist strategy. There were people there who are Indian, who grew up in India, who believed in that motion. And a couple of points I made it were very important. I think one was that if you light a fire, if you light the fire of anti-Muslim, if you light the fire of hatred, of fear, if you think you can light it across the border, what we are seeing is Modi and Netanyahu, both of them are two brothers in hate. They're both brothers united in hatred. And one needs to villainize the Arabs. One needs the Arabs as an enemy to continue on as prime minister. The other needs the Muslims as an enemy to continue as prime minister. And both of them engage in policies to persecute these groups to maintain their grip and hold on power.
And there hasn't been any kind of statement from the Indian side yet.
Not to my knowledge now.
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Musa.
So, Rahul, since July 7th of this year, the Oxford Union has been in communication with me for a debate between India and Pakistan on the question of India's Pakistan policy or security policy with respect to Pakistan. We agreed to the debate. I was originally told that Dr. Swami and the former Chief of Army Staff, S.G. Naravane, are the co-participants. And we were given the impression that Hina Rabbani Khar and Khwaja Muhammad Asif, the Defense Minister of Pakistan, would be two of the participants from their side. The identity of the third participant was never revealed. Nevertheless, we agreed. The debate was supposed to be scheduled for the 27th November, that is yesterday, at 8:30 p.m. at the Oxford Union. So the confirmations were done. On the 25th, 2 days before the debate, I was called by the union to inform me that Dr. Swami and Mr. Naravane may not be able to turn up because of other commitments. So they had reached out to Mr. Suhail Seth and Priyanka Chaturvedi, that is their version, and that they had found them as replacements to the candidates who couldn't turn up. So I agreed with it and we decided to proceed. And then a day before the debate, they tell me that even they couldn't make it because the notice was too short. So finally, they said, why don't you help us with some recommendations from within the UK so that it's easier for us to organize the logistics? I organized two people, Pandit Satish Sharma, who has articulated Indian interests in UK fairly clearly, and Manu Khajuriaji, who is a well-known voice from Jammu, and who's written extensively on the terrorist attacks that Jammu has suffered, not just in Kashmir. So both of them agreed. And yesterday until 3 o'clock, all of us were set. We were supposed to travel from London to Oxford. I landed yesterday in the morning. At around 3:15 or so, I get a call from a member of the union to suddenly tell me that the Pakistanis have not landed, and therefore the debate with them is called off. And that if we were comfortable, we could come to Oxford and have a discussion with the students. I said I didn't travel all the way here to have a discussion with the students. I did this in June earlier this year. So the idea was to debate the Pakistanis. So if they've not come, there's no point in me traveling all the way again from London to Oxford. So I stayed back. Then I shot a stinker of an email to the president of the Oxford Union. His name is Musa Haraj, and turns out that he is the son of the former or perhaps the present Minister of Defense Production in Pakistan, Mohammad Raja, I think Hayat Hiraj, whatever that name is. And turns out that the treasurer of the Oxford Union is also a Pakistani. So I think I think you get the picture. So he calls me and he apologizes and he tells me that around at 10 a.m. in the morning yesterday, he got a call from the Pakistani delegation that they were not in a position to make it. I said, if that were the case, I'm sure you'd have known of this at least the night before. You could have told me before I boarded the flight to London. He said, I'm sorry, even I was not aware. Within minutes of the conversation, which happened at about 4:55 p.m. in the evening, the Pakistan High Commission starts putting out tweets basically saying that the Pakistani team has won because of a walkover, because nobody turned up for India. And apparently we withdrew from the competition or the debate.
Wow.
And Oxford Union also starts putting out similar tweets. And then they circulate a letter dated 5th of November, I think, of this month, saying that these were the participants who were supposed to participate in the debate from the Indian side, and they named Sachin Pilot. And to the best of my knowledge, Mr. Sachin Pilot was never confirmed. Okay, so clearly this was a fabricated letter with no basis whatsoever. And turns out that the Pakistani team had indeed landed. They were in Oxford, in the George Street Hotel, but they chose not to tell us that, and gave us the impression that because the Pakistani team hadn't landed, maybe you could take a call on whether you wish to proceed or not. Since we were under the impression, and we were clearly told that the Pakistani team had not landed, we didn't see the point in going to Oxford. So they've started giving the impression that apparently this was a walkover. And incidentally, it just so happens that fortunately my sources have informed me that the Pakistani team is still at that hotel in Oxford. So I've put out a tweet basically saying that we are more than happy to debate. All of us are ready. And if you're interested and if you have the guts, please proceed to have a debate. And this time, let it be a live debate. Let it not be a recorded one. But as I said, that they are replicating the success of Operation Manhoos Ki Phati Hui Banyan. Okay. And so there is no evidence of success here. And I think the performance speaks volumes of the national ethos, which is to desert the battlefield even before the battle has started. Okay. They've inherited that.
Standard operating Pakistani tactics.
We have managed to successfully encode this in the Pakistani gene in 1971, and ever since I think that's how they've been. So this is the situation here. The unfortunate reality is that Oxford as an institution and Oxford Union in particular has become what I've called the concubinal mouthpiece of the Pakistan High Commission in the United Kingdom. And perhaps that's a reflection of the general state of affairs of the United Kingdom itself. Less said the better. Now, it's only a matter of time before London becomes Londonistan, or it actually has become one. So let's leave it at that.
Well, I just wanted to ask you, because Deepak, this is fascinating, this cop-out by Pakistan. Not that it's out of character, as you just said yourself. This is very much in sync with the Pakistani character. But if they are so articulate, if they have so many indisputable arguments, why don't they come right now on live TV? I'm willing to moderate this.
I'm happy to even do this on Pakistan television if they want to. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think they've managed to grow a collective spine between the three people to face even one of us. And I repeat, I'm here even until tomorrow. So if the Pakistanis have guts and if their forefathers have granted them this courage of the conviction, and by forefathers, I don't mean FOUR, I mean FORE, we are more than happy to participate in the debate. I'm still here.
So you said that you wrote to the Oxford Union and the organizers, etc. Have you heard back from them? Have they responded at all?
So I got a call from Musa Harraj apologizing and saying that I'm sorry. It just so happens that I got a call in the morning and all that, but I haven't received anything in writing after my email of 4:11 p.m. of yesterday. Nothing.
Wow. So that means that they don't want to put anything on paper so that they won't get incriminated. Now, you said that these people are at some King George hotel or something like that.
George Street Hotel in Oxford.
Okay, so they're there, this entire team. Who is on their team?
So Hina Rabbani Khan, and then some Mohammad Faisal, another person I think who's from the Pakistan army. Now, whether it's an army or not, we don't know, but at least some representative from the army is there. So there are three people. The initial rumor was that the Pakistani Prime Minister and the Field Marshal was also supposed to come. This is what we were told. And the reason is that since the president of the Oxford Union happens to be related to the Defense Production Minister of Pakistan, I don't know if both of them were trying to gain political brownie points by organizing this with their Prime Minister and their Field Marshal. I have no idea. Nevertheless, we said even if it's a rigged debate, we don't have a problem participating because let the world see what our side of the story is. We went more than prepared. But they copped out as usual. They chickened out.
Possibly it's also because these three individuals, as you know, are also sketchy characters. We've had an association with them, Hina Rawani Khan, but they're also perhaps just there for a junket. Maybe they never really intended. Maybe they scammed their own government. Who knows? And have come and taken, the Oxford Union for a ride. I'm sure the Oxford Union is paying for this 3-day holiday that they've probably come for, or maybe even longer.
But considering the composition of the team that we were informed of and the presence of at least one particular individual, there's a decent chance that Bilawal Bhutto is also here. Now I leave it at that.
Well, thank you so much, Jesai Deepak. Let's hope that you can corner them, maybe on the street, and take a couple of photographs so that we know that they were in situ, but obviously running away from a contest. I would love to make that gesture, but I leave it at this.
I'm sure they're having some halal biryani in Birmingham or Bradford. So we'll see what happens.
It's probably true. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.